Hey guys, it's Darcy here. So I know I have not done a newer, updated YouTube video in so long. It's been really just old stuff being uploaded from the old YouTube page. So bear with me there. If you'd like coaching, head over to our Instagram page. It's under story highlights labeled coaching. Go through that and you'll see the prices. Then send us a private message and let us know what you want, and we'll go from there. We also have a weekly live session where we go live on Sundays. It's a subscription, and I think it's about like $4 a month. So go join that if you'd like. You can get a discount with coaching as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I was talking to a client earlier, and another coach and I have talked about this in the past. But basically, when you are manifesting something and something bad happens in your reality, and you're like, for example, let's say that I don't want to use the worst thing, but we're just going to go with it. Let's say someone hacks into your bank account and steals all your money, right? Or let's say you get like your house is broken into or your car. And you're like frantic, you're upset about it, you don't like it. But here's the thing that you have to remember about manifesting. I know a lot of times when things happen, people are so quick to say, manifesting's not real. Like if manifesting works, why did this happen? We don't get to choose how something unravels. We don't get to choose how something happens to us. We have a thought and it's reflected. A lot of people out there are like, well, I didn't manifest a third party to come in and be with my SP or, whatever the case is, if there's like a pregnancy involved or marriage or whatever. And I've heard people say, well, I didn't know, like I never thought of another person coming in. Yeah, but you've clearly had a thought where you felt second best. You felt like you weren't being chosen fully, right? So when you have a thought like that, you don't get to choose how that thought shows up. Only you get to choose that you have that thought. So when you have bad things happen in your reality that you don't like, you don't need to go backwards and try to dissect and understand, okay, like where did this thought come from? Or what, specific thought did I have that created this? It's more or less like an assumption you have, and then, the how it shows up is not up to us, right? So think on that when you have things show up that you don't really desire. So back to the original one about like being, taken advantage of or someone stealing from you. You could have an assumption that, this world is dangerous, right? So again, we don't get to choose how that shows up. And I know I keep saying that, but I'm saying it for a reason. So let's just say I'm trying to think of something else that would probably be a good example, but I can't think of anything right offhand. But I'm sure, if you're dealing with some type of situation with your SP and you've sat there in the past and you're like, oh my God, why did this manifest like this? Drop that worry of trying to go backwards and understand the exact thought that led you there. That is too much logic happening. Just accept the fact that you had an assumption somewhere down the line of something with your SP, and how it showed up was just how it did. Again, I know a lot of people say, well, I didn't think of a third party. Why did the third party show up? I never thought that they would leave me for someone else. I just thought that they were better than me and they could do better than me, and I didn't feel good enough. Or maybe you just felt like you were second best. You don't get to choose that. You just get to choose the thought that you desire to hold in your mind. So when you are interacting with reality and dealing with things like that, have that in the back of your mind so that you don't allow your logical mind to come in or your ego and try to sit here and dissect manifesting. There's no need to go backwards. Just accept that happened, and what are you going to do to change that assumption? 9 times out of 10, we can to some degree understand what thought we're having, right? Because I know looking back on my own journey, I could see where I had an assumption of something, but how that assumption showed up was a little different than I was expecting, but it's okay though, right? And I know I've talked about this before, but the story about the rims and me manifesting new set of rims. I didn't ask for my car to go and get in an accident to some degree, even though it was mild, for me to get new rims, right? I didn't ask that. I didn't want it like that, but it happened that way. That's just how it happens. So if you let go of that worry and that stress that you're placing on yourself, because once again, we have this expectation of how we want things to show up. And sometimes if they don't show up that way, we get really frustrated, right? So release that understanding that we really don't have control over how. And we really don't have control over when. I mean, to some degree, we do have control over when. If we have a time set in our mind, like a time frame that we are like, okay, this is definitely when this is going to happen. Yes, we may have that, or maybe we're manifesting on a time crunch, but 9 times out of 10, we don't really get to choose when things show up. They just show up on their timing, because there's a bridge involved where synchronized events are taking place for our manifestation. So again, remind yourself of this, and try not to beat yourself up or try to dissect where every little thought came from. It's probably one big ass assumption, and you just got to change it. Okay, so that's it. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it was a little bit shorter, but I will definitely be back to be posting more soon. So bear with me. For everyone who's been following me for a while, you're probably like, oh, I'm so sick of the older content. But hey, I got to put it out there. So, but yeah, I will see you guys again soon. Bye.